Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for attending episode 5 of our 8-episode series with Cooking Matters. Today, we are going to be focusing on kind of reducing the craziness that can happen with mealtime. So we are going to focus on, maintaining a basic pantry and what that means. So what kind of staples should you keep in your pantry? Planning weekly menus. This just takes a little bit of time prepping for the week, and then involving kids in meal planning to create more buy-in at mealtime. So if kids are able to plan out the meals and go shopping for the ingredients, for example, they might be more interested in eating the food. So we are going to have a fun recipe demonstration. We're making tuna boats. So really we're just making some tuna, putting them in cucumbers as a way to add some more veggies and add a nice crunch. It's super refreshing, really easy, and you can kind of keep this pre-made tuna mix that we're going to make on hand for another couple days and just remake either tuna boats or a tuna sandwich or a tuna melt, just to have some sort of component of the meal already prepped, so that will save you some time. And if you're not a fan of tuna, you can try other pantry staples like canned salmon or chicken packed in water. And what we're using pretty much should be staples in your kitchen. So tuna and beans, those can be kind of kept in your pantry for, a while. And salt, pepper, mustard, olive oil, or canola oil. And then the only thing that you might have to get for this recipe is a cucumber or a lemon, depending on if you keep those on hand. So let's get cooking. All right. So I'm going to start getting everything set up. This recipe is really simple, which makes it awesome. And as I said before, we're using a lot of ingredients that you should just have in your pantry at home. So I'm gonna make sure you can see everything. So I've already rinsed the cucumbers. That's step 1, but we are gonna peel off the skin. So we're using just a veggie peeler. We're gonna peel off the outside. The outside of the cucumber is totally edible, but it just makes, in my opinion, it a little easier to chew and more appetizing when the skin is taken off, especially when you're going to be eating it in boat form. So you're going to have a lot of cucumber with each bite. So we have peeled the cucumber. We can compost or throw away these cucumber peels. And then we're going to cut lengthwise. So I'm also going to cut off the ends. And then we're going to cut it lengthwise. So it is in half the long way. So then we have 2 long pieces of cucumber. Then what we're going to do next is grab a spoon, is scoop out these seeds on the inside. We're just going to use a spoon and scoop it out, and it should come off really easily. So this is where we're going to put the tuna in. So we'll have a nice little crevice for that tuna. Put inside. So now what we have are 2 cucumbers, pitted, peeled, sliced, that will serve as the boats. So it says grate a lemon or zest the lemon. I'm just going to use the juice of it, so I'm just going to cut it in half. Set that aside. And then we're going to chop some green onions. So sorry I didn't have these already prepped, but we'll give you time to get them out of your fridge or get them ready if you're following along. So we're just gonna give these a quick rinse. And then the most crunchy, tastiest part of the green onion is gonna be this white. So I tend to just cut from the white end to like mid stem or like leaf, if that's what you want to call it. But you can use the entire thing. I just like the crunchy part better. So I'm gonna cut the little heads off because we don't want to eat those. And then I'm just gonna chop just little pieces of green onion. You can line it up if you feel confident. Just chop them all at the same time. And you can choose to leave these out, choose to put them in. I really like the taste of onion, especially green onion. But you can use 1, 2. I'm just using all the ones I have on hand because I want to use up what I have and I like it. So then it says drain the tuna. So I've already done that. So I've just drained it. I just did it by pressing the top and letting the juice come out. And I've also already drained the beans. So these are just the white beans that we're using. So I just rinsed and drained those. So now what we do is really just combine everything. First, we want to mash these beans just lightly with a fork. They're not going to mash completely, but just softening them up a little bit will give a good consistency. Great. So then we're going to add all the ingredients. So we're going to add the can of tuna. We're going to add the squeeze of lemon. And you can omit this if you're not a fan of lemon or just use half. I'm going to use the full lemon because I like lemon juice. And then we're going to add the green onions that we already chopped up. Add a little dash of salt and pepper. And then a tablespoon of oil. I'm using olive oil just because that's what I have on hand. You can use canola oil, any kind of oil. So a tablespoon, I'm just going to kind of eye it out. And then also a tablespoon of mustard. So I'm using stone ground mustard because, again, that's what I have. You can use whatever you want, whether that's Dijon or just a yellow mustard if that's what you have. So about a tablespoon, just going to eye it. And then we're just going to mix everything together. So I'm making sure that tuna is separating. It smells so good and lemony. Okay, so once it's well mixed and you feel like the oil and the salt and pepper and the mustard has coated everything, should look like that. Not super appetizing looking because it's all mushy, but once we put on these cucumbers, it's gonna look so good. So we'll take these boats that we prepared earlier and just put some of the tuna mix in the boat. Look how fun! Can do that for the next one. And you can cut these boats in half. If your kid's a little smaller and they don't quite need that full boat, or they might be not able to grab the full boat since it's a little large. But here's what we have. Tuna boats. Oh God. It fell out. Luckily, you can just put it right back in. So yeah. So good. And you can choose to use this tuna mixture in a sandwich if you want to save it for another day. There's so much left over, as you can see. So that's going to make like 6 boats at least. Or you can just use a few boats for one meal and then use it the next day for another lunch in a different way, like a sandwich or on top of a salad or something. So great. Now let's go over some questions. All right. So when we're talking about pantry staples, we're talking about foods that you might have on hand all the time. So just some staples that you'll have in your kitchen, regardless of, if you've just gone shopping or not, you're always going to have these. I usually have some rice, pasta, beans, tuna, anything that can be shelf stable for a long time. I like to just have those on hand, and then I know when I use them, I just buy them at the store, but I never run out. So say I'll buy like 5 cans of beans. If I use 2, then next time I go to the store, I'll buy 2 more, but know that I always have those 3 left over. So I also like to keep frozen veggies on hand. This is a great option if you like to incorporate veggies, but you don't always know when you're going to use them. So keeping frozen veggies on hand is super great because they don't really go bad. So you can just use them whenever a recipe calls for it. And then I like to have some like various sauces like tomato sauce in my pantries, just so I can put that over rice, for example, or pasta or anything with the frozen veggies, maybe add some sort of protein on it and you have a meal. So that's what I like to keep on hand, just so I can make a meal if I don't feel like rushing out to the store, or it's bad weather like it is today and I don't want to leave the house. So I know I can make something. And then the next question is, do you make meals in advance or plan meals in advance? So this can just be like on Sunday, you plan out your meals for the rest of the week. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to meal prep them or prepare anything for those meals, just having an idea of, what you're going to make in your mind or write it down. And I want you all to think about it. So do you do it? And if so, is it difficult? Has it made your life easier? And if you don't do it, why? What is the barrier in planning out your meals? So it's really important to note that menu planning helps us save money. And this is done by avoiding unnecessary purchases. You can use up items that you already have on hand and using ingredients across several meals. So say if you buy something for one meal, like you can plan another meal for the next day that uses up any leftover ingredients. It also helps us eat better. So it reduces our reliance on convenience items. Knowing that you have a planned meal will probably prevent you from, getting convenience food on the way home. And planning to include healthy foods from all food groups through this planning process will ensure that you're getting all the vitamins and minerals and protein, carbs, fats in every meal if you plan that out. And then for me, the reason that I plan out meals is that it prevents me from just impulse buying. So if I go to the grocery store without any type of plan, I tend to just buy things that I don't really need and that don't really go well together. And then I just have this like random array of either fruits, vegetables, sauces, just something that doesn't really work together. So I really like planning out my meals in advance for that reason. And so if we're thinking about challenges for planning meals, the most common answer that I hear is that people don't have the time. But in my opinion, it can actually save you time. So you just spend like 5 to 15 minutes on a Sunday and you write down your meals for the week. And it can be fun looking up recipes. You can also involve your kids, figuring out what they want to eat. And if you plan out your meals for the whole week, it should allow you to only go to the grocery store like once or twice, just because you have that list of things that you already need. And this can save you a lot of time in the long run. So the time component is something that I hear a lot as a reason why people don't meal plan, but I think it can actually save time in the long run if you do it. So just something to keep in mind. So some meal planning basics. So we've been talking a lot about meal planning, but how exactly do we implement that? So if you follow along with this chart, it will give you the perfect steps into how to meal prep. So first you want to check what you already have on hand. So go to those pantry staples, see what you already have, and then start with meal ideas based on what you already have. So if you have pasta and pasta sauce, be like, okay, well, maybe I'll make some sort of pasta dish. You don't need to know exactly what it is, but as long as you have an idea, then you can narrow down your recipe. So then you want to pick out ingredients that can be used in more than one meal. So say you're using peppers and onions for a pasta dish, what can you use the next day or the day after that with those peppers and onions as well? And then you can plan to use up leftover ingredients in other meals. So anything that you haven't used, as I mentioned before, you can just use those in the next meal. And then you can check store flyers, like see what's on sale. If there's chicken on sale or beef on sale, maybe you make like a beef bolognese pasta sauce. And that can be a good way to figure out, where you're going to go. And then make a shopping list. So this can be for all the recipes or things that you're going to make for the entire week. So you can go on a Monday or Sunday and just have everything purchased for the entire week in one day. That's what I like to do. So I made a little example of ingredients and how you can use what you have on hand in multiple meals or recipes. So for example, this is what I had in my fridge and pantry today. I have pepper, spinach, pasta, rice, chicken, and cheese. So ingredients that I can use in more than one meal are pretty much all of those things, but I chose chicken, spinach, peppers, and cheese. So I can make like a pasta, chicken, and pepper and spinach dish one night. And then I can make like a baked chicken with spinach and peppers and cheese on top the next and serve that with rice or something. So you can really get creative. You don't have to follow a recipe all the time. You can just kind of look at what you have and kind of assemble a meal based on what you have. That's going to save money by using ingredients you already have. You're not buying specific ingredients just for one meal. And yeah, so that's what I like to do. I'm a big component of using up everything in my pantry for the next week comes, and then I do a little pantry refresh. And then our last question is, what are some ways to involve the whole family in meal planning or menu planning? So just like getting kids involved in cooking, involving kids in the planning can get them really excited about mealtime and increase their willingness to try some new things. So you can have kids help plan at least like one meal a week per start. So say Wednesdays, they want to have lasagna. So they'll be really excited about their lasagna night on Wednesday. And just make it fun and have them be involved in the cooking process in that meal that they chose to have. And then like as time goes on, you can kind of increase the amount of meals that they're choosing, while still keeping them in line with like what you wanted to make, but have them have a say as well. And then I really like having theme nights. So like Taco Tuesday or Pizza Friday or Under the Sea Saturday. That's a fun way to have like a theme for every week, and then the kids can pick what they want to eat for that meal. So for Pizza Friday, like what do they want to have on the pizza? Or Under the Sea Saturday, what type of fish are they craving? You can also incorporate some family favorites if you know that they like lasagna. You can try to include that in the weekly meal menu planning, maybe every other week. You can review the family calendar, say if there's a birthday or a holiday, or there's a big exciting thing at school, they can plan their meal for that day. And then you can also check the weather. So say if it's going to snow, or if it's going to rain, you can make like cookies or something like that. So plan that ahead. All right, so a little bit of review. So tips to plan your way to peaceful meals. So plan weekly menus in advance to save time, money, and reduce mealtime stress. Number 2, include the whole family in menu planning for better buy-in and fewer fights. And then 3, maintain a basic pantry. So I want you all to set a goal, whether that's goal 1, 2, 3, or making up your own, and choose something that you'd like to implement this week so you can, maintain a basic pantry. So get everything that you think you'll need for your pantry and try to keep that always stocked through every week. So you always know what you have on hand, or you can involve your kids in, Taco Tuesday this coming week and see how that goes and try to continue it on from there. So you can definitely download the Cooking Matters app or use the Cooking Matters website for more recipes. You can follow them on Facebook or just go to their website, cookingmatters.org, for hundreds of recipes and then tips and videos for saving time, money, and also they have some really good information on handling feeding challenges. So thank you all so much. There should be a survey associated with this video. So if you could fill it out, that would be awesome. It helps keep our content free and gives us feedback on how to improve these types of discussions, lessons, and webinars. So thank you so much. Thanks. Have a good day.